Today I'm going to talk about generalization. I don't think generalization works. Let me get this pre. There was a 19-year-old girl that shot, got shot and killed by her boyfriend. I don't know why, but all I know is she was shot in the head and killed by her boyfriend, and and obviously this was on Twitter. And the person who I read the tweet from was like, um, men ain't. Basically, she was giving out men ain't shit. She said black men are the biggest threat to to black women's well being and all the other stuff. So, for one, the thing is okay. So the way I replied to it is I pulled up these stats that basically, the leading cause of death for black people, and specifically, but there's one for black women, but specifically for black community, heart disease is one of them. Cancer is another one. Unintentional accidents, homicide is like seventh. To be frank, and the one we're talking about, and her basically, I told her this is the leading cause of death. Yes, it was the stats was taken in 2017. I was looking for the most recent one, but I'm pretty sure like they don't do it till like a year after, because everyone I've seen to the most recent one they give you was 2017. So I thoroughly did this before I gave it to her. Excuse the mustache. But anyway, I thoroughly gave this to her. And her reply was, "I said safety and well being, and then she tried to insult me, and that's when I said, last time I checked, health is part of your well being. Safety, unintentional accidents, that covers that, and also." The fact that she was murdered, which is considered a homicide, which she would fall under as a in death. Rest in peace to the girl, by the way. So, after she never responded back, I don't know. She probably is not gonna respond back. But basically, what I'm saying is, this is generalization doesn't work, and the reason why I say this doesn't work because this is one of my biggest pet peeve, and this is like something I lived through. There's been times where, um, when people try to punish you, is like I'm going to punish you for something someone else did. I hated that because when that and this is done in the this was done in the Navy, and this is probably done in my house. But the thing is, what one person do, they done that on their own avail. That doesn't consider me when I follow the rules and I do everything right. Why do I have to get punished for someone else's fuck up? That's my biggest pet peeve, and that's what kind of sets me off real quick. So that's why I say generalizations doesn't work, because there are plenty of this is not one of those not all men uh sayings, but I have to say this. There are men that worship the ground that black women walk on, but y'all don't but for some reason, and this is not to bash black women, but for some reason they don't get respected. That's why the whole nice guy finished last rhetoric exists. There are men that worship the ground that black women walk on, that would do anything for a black woman, that protect black women, but I feel like they never get the recognition that they can. I feel like, in this, especially with women, y'all paying attention to the people that do people wrong than instead of the people that do people right. Because every time when a dude, he does something right, it's not as big as someone like someone murdering a black woman. So when do y'all praise a dude when he like takes it? I don't see the same praise, the same backlash, the backlash I see when people talk about how black men ain't shit. I don't get the same the same reaction on a good note when a black man takes a woman out on a date and he does everything right and he respects her. And it's like, I don't feel like they're talked in the same light. That's my opinion. Now we could debate that all the time, but that's my opinion. I feel like some of I don't know if they're not attractive. I've done said this before. I don't know if they're attractive or they just don't have a swagger of a bad boy. But at the same time, y'all don't talk about nice guys as much as y'all talk about bad boys. Why? Because I like bad boys. And like I said, I'm not bashing black women, but I do feel like this. I do feel like a lot, since we're growing up in trauma and drama and all the other shit, I think we're just attracted to that more than when someone treats us nice. We don't know how to deal with it. I've seen it before. When someone Because I would say this, my ex, now even though she made more money than me, like I never like relied on her or never asked her for money. I just like, because I was able to afford all my other stuff and all that. And one time I gave her just $200. And I said, she said, "What's this for?" I said, "It's yours. You do whatever you want with it." And she said, "Thank you." But I like, in the back of her head, I don't think no one ever just gave her money to just go crazy with it. So it's, but as soon as like, I know there was one time where like we had this argument. This is around the time Chris Brown, Rihanna, had that little thing when Chris Brown hit Rihanna, and then like we had to talk about that, and I was like, y'all don't know what happened in that car. And I was basically the whole, y'all don't know what happened in that car. And then she caught it. She got real quiet. And then later she was like, see, all y'all men are the same and all that other shit. So when you, because her last boyfriend hit her and I've never laid a hand on her. So I had to shut that down real quickly. I said, first off, I'm not your ex-boyfriend. I'm not going to put my hands on you and all that other stuff. I'm not him. Obviously, I know what he did and I'm not going to like repeat those same things. All right. And but back to generalization. The reason, like I said, I don't think it helps when I feel like when you say, if you tell me these type of men or like, um, I feel like when you're trying to be specific, like why, and I think there's a reason. Okay, I think there's a reason why people generalize because I don't know they know the specific type of man because to them all men look the same. But as men, we sometimes we tell you, hey, yo, I don't. Me and him don't rock the same way. We always say that when y'all describe what y'all call fuck boys, and they all this bad shit, and I say I don't do none of that and all that other stuff, and then I feel like instead of being like, oh, I appreciate that you do none of that stuff, I feel like a lot of y'all go, you want a cookie? It's like, hold up, and to me, and then that's when it goes to when you're just like, now you're insulting. I feel like the fact that I'm telling you that I don't do this, you're insulting me because I don't do this, or you're downplaying that I don't do that. And I think that's what a lot of men have a problem with women when they say they don't do none of this stuff. You downplay it just because you're angry at a man, and that to me that goes nowhere. And I feel like with this woman is like anytime when people's like you're generalizing instead of like just going after the target or the specific person, because I don't, because anytime when a woman, and this is just me, anytime when a woman does something wrong to a man, I don't go, all you women are the same and all that other stuff, or this is what's wrong with black women. All right, I said that person is a piece of shit and needs to be justified. If I've done that, I probably need to check myself. If I've done that before, I probably need to check myself, or I at least try to say that specific type of woman, or like women like her, do things like that. I try to at least be as specific as I can, so I don't put all women in this angle. Because I feel like even men, like when we call women bitches, like we know what type of woman we're talking about. Like when they say bitches ain't shit but hoes and tricks. It's like if you're not a woman that tries to trick a man for their money, then obviously we're not talking about you. And a lot of men don't understand that. I understand what no scrubs is. Like TLC, when TLC is, I don't have a problem with this song because I don't feel like I'm a scrub. I don't feel like I do none of that scrub shit. So, and it's same thing with songs like "Fuck Boy" by Trina, "Looking Ass Nigga" by Nicki Minaj. It's like I can listen to them songs and not get mad because to me I'm not one of those. It's like don't listen to me. It's like do I do them things? And I go no. All right, then I'm straight. So the bottom line, this whole thing, and is rest in peace to that 19-year-old girl that she didn't deserve that. We need. Now I know I'm pretty sure generalization works for some people. I say that's good, but I feel like it just overall I don't think it works. We need to pinpoint these people that do these things. We need to because sometimes because things like I would be honest, things like this, unless you can like foresee it, you could probably prevent it. But if I don't know the dude personally, then I'm not going to take responsibility for when God forbid someone goes and kills a woman, and that's honestly another problem because it's always like when a man murders when a man murders a woman, and we say all the time, "Yo, that dude was a piece of shit," just like the woman in Chicago that got a degree, and the dude like raped her and killed her. Like I was just as upset as all the other women there, and yet I'm looking at women just bashing men for all this. It's like y'all need to take accountability in men and all that other stuff. I don't know the dude, and but we talked about this so many times. This is on my channel. It's like um, I'm gonna go ahead and more of the stories. Generalization don't work, and I'm as far as I'm concerned, when it comes to like we need to protect our black women. I say this all the time. Yes, we need to protect our black women, but as you know, as you people realize that unless I can predict crimes that before it happens, some of the shit you're not going to find out until like after it's done. Especially if the person do it by himself. It's like it's not usually with a group of people. I don't care what anybody says. It's usually not with a group of people. The guys is usually by himself when they do this stuff. Because a lot of people do crimes on their own. So, or like if they do, they have one other person with them. So they don't have a group of people watching them. There's always like someone by themselves when no one's looking. And that's what I feel like people need to get to their head. By the time usually this stuff happens, they're either already dead, and sorry to hear that. They're already dead, and it's like, what you want? And by that time, it's like, what you want me to do? Unless he's like still, out there and all that other stuff. But if he's arrested, it's like, what you want me to do? They already arrested him. They charged him with rape, and he's gonna go to jail for it. It's like, but like I said, we've had this talk. I done had many of conversations on this. They're on my channel. Like a bunch of us brothers talking about this, and I don't know. I would like to hear your opinion. Till then, my name is Oscar Fly, and I'm out. Peace.